You're watching Good Boys. You're watching Good Boys. Fighting just to save our lives. Got you laughing every night.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back. I still don't have a repaired pick, but I don't know what to do. So you ever been in those bathrooms that you hate the design of?
No, I don't think I have.
You never been in a bathroom you didn't like the design of?
I mean, okay. There was one time I was in London, and there was a bathroom at the bottom of the stairs, and there wasn't any walls or anything. And if you just came down the stairs, then everyone saw you peeing. I really didn't care for that. But I don't know if that was the bathroom. It was just a toilet.
No
and
walls?
No, there wasn't even there wasn't even a
bathroom?
sink. It was just a toilet in the ground.
Are you sure it wasn't just a hole?
I mean, it was. I mean, it had a knob where you could hit it and flush it, but it was just a toilet in the middle of. It was just a toilet it was a public toilet basically. Which I mean, I don't like those toilets that come out of the ground at night. Which that sounds like some kind of fucking horror movie.
Night? Wait, what?
In the streets,
like haunted toilets.
Oh god! In the streets of London, they have those toilets that just rise up.
Oh yes, the streets of London, the haunted rising toilet.
You don't know about the rise up toilets?
No.
Yeah, there's literally in the fucking sidewalks of London, there are these X's that are toilets that you can piss in that rise up out of the ground at nighttime.
I've had some bad relationships and had some exes of my own too, but I don't call them like dirty toilets.
I'm not making this up, man. It's like a four section toilet that's just basically like the corner of a fucking wall to stop people from pissing on the corner of buildings or whatever else. And they're not there during the day. During the day, you would basically walk around them and not even know they're there. And at night, they rise up. and there's just toilets. And you got people just pissing in the street, basically. There's no walls.
They rise up. Start a revolution.
They do.
A
Piss revolution. There's a piss revolution at night in London.
No, I've never heard of this before.
I mean, having traveled with pyro places, I kind of understand. Everywhere I've ever gone with pyro, he has pissed outside somewhere with lots of people around with no regard.
I've pissed outside on multiple occasions in my life. Not usually with multiple people around. It's funny though, because that's not because I'm concerned about pissing in front of other people, because I don't really care. I'm not shy like that. I will, like, people who can't pee in a public bathroom when there's somebody else in there, dude, I'll turn around and piss in your shoes. I don't really care. I just don't want to get in trouble and get like indecent exposure tickets or put on a sex offender registry or something like that because I was pissing outside.
The very first time I met Pyro was in London, or not in London, in Paris at Disney.
It was in a bathroom.
It was in a bathroom. No, it was just in fucking Disney in Paris.
I was like, dude, you piss outside. That's awesome. Join the serve.
And he's just pissing on the wall, and some guy comes up and is like, "Hey, you're peeing!" And they high five, and the guy fucking goes off. Some random guy.
So do they come up with? They just come up and there's no walls. It's just literally a toilet that comes out of the ground.
No, it's like an X or a plus sign that they rise up, and so it's 4 holes to pee in. It's like 4 urinals that rise up, and they are the walls. So there's no wall. I mean, if you were one of those people that pull their pants down around their ankles when they pee, which is really weird in itself, but if you were one of those people, you'd see fucking ass cheeks over there peeing, basically.
What I'm gonna say is that is pretty freaking awesome, and I wish they had those in DC.
Well, I think it's smart because I mean I've seen people fucking pull their pants down and take a shit on the side of a building before.
Wait, were you always over here?
I was. Well, not always. I mean, I've been other places before.
Have you been over by the farm since?
Briefly, at the start of our first episode, I was over there,
but not started this episode.
No, I was not.
Somebody else is
that's
over
Breon.
there. And oh my god, I had thought it was you, and that's why I came over. I thought you were done. I didn't even pay attention. I didn't even know Breon was on. I never hit tab.
Well, that's what happened to me the other day. Whenever we started the episode where I gave myself the stuff for the beacon, I thought you were standing beside me, and the whole time it was Breon was standing beside me. And so whenever he started saying like "I see you" or whatever, I was like, "What the fuck's he talking about? Where does he see me? He ain't nowhere about here." Because I thought you were he was you or whatever. So yeah, I've done that. I know what you mean.
That's I had no idea Brielle was even on. That's crazy. So yeah, I really would. Those toilets would be awesome.
I mean, I don't think that kind of thing would work in America. We freak out about that sort of stuff.
There'd be multiple people on a sex offender registry list, that's for sure, and it'd all be based on following like what they put into public places. No, I actually was meaning from like a design perspective. I guess that is a design perspective. So at my work, I often have to walk around with my laptop because I go to meetings and I have to show people a lot of different things. And I often stop in the bathrooms, and many bathrooms have like a shelf that I could toss my laptop onto if I got to go take a piss at the urinal or something like that real quick. Mm-hmm. Some of them it's annoying because you just put it on the sink, and the sink is often wet, so you have to like wipe the sink down first.
You know, why is that in public bathrooms? All around the sink is always soaked. You come out of the bathrooms half the time if you're not paying attention because you like leaned over to get soap and you're like the whole front of your shirt gets soaked. It looks like you pissed yourself. Yeah, because you lean against it. Yeah, I think part of that has to do with like the sink designs that are the sinks built into the counter and everything is flush. It splashes a lot easier. You know what I'm talking about? It's not like a sink that's sit into a hole. It's like it built into the counter. I don't know. It's really weird. I think some of it's that people, what they do in public places is they're just less courteous and they'll rinse their hands and then they'll like shake them dry over the counter before they walk over to like the hand dryers or whatnot. Right. And the hand dryers, since they never actually do dry your hands, when you walk away from a hand dryer, your hands are still wet and you shake them. Yeah, but they're not normally near the sink. So they're normally, a little far away. So I went into one of the bathrooms today and it was even worse because it not only didn't have a shelf, but it was an older bathroom that literally just had a toilet and one of those sinks that come out of the wall. Like they didn't even have a counter space. Uh-huh. So I'm like, fuck, this is stupid. Now I got my laptop in my hand. There's not even a urinal in here. Like it's a standard like sit down toilet. So it's like a one person bathroom, So I set my laptop, which I've done in these situations before, on the sink, angled across the sink, so it's resting on two of the sides of it. Usually not a problem. It's just annoying because you're on a sink and it's teetering a little bit. You hope you don't accidentally hit it or whatnot, and you hope the sinks aren't really dirty or whatever to get shit all over my laptop. I wasn't paying enough attention. Take a wild guess at what happened. Either fell on the ground or fell in the sink. No, neither of those. You peed on so it. You wouldn't have been thinking about it either. Is another thing. Was the sink on? It up. Did it hit the? Was it one of those sinks where you got to press the thing down and it cuts on? Oh, it was an automatic sink. It was an automatic sink. Laptop crossed the beam. Well, they say don't cross the beams. Laptop got a shower. Oh man, what I'm taking away from this is that your coworkers should not touch your laptop because that has been in a lot of bathrooms. I mean, yeah, that's what you want to take away from it, sure. It's true. It's been in a lot of bathrooms. I find it funny. Maybe it needed a shower after all the bathrooms it'd been in. I find it really ironic because I sit in a lot of meetings with, my leaders, my boss, people above me, people at my level, people below me. People below What you? Do I constantly see at these meetings is every freaking nursing leader sitting there with a pad of paper and a pencil or a pen taking notes through meetings. Uh-huh. I'm always the only one, and this includes my team, which I find crazy because my team is the informatics team. I'm always the only one sitting there with a laptop. And whether I was in informatics or not, in college, I always brought my laptop to class with me because why do I want to write down notes when I can type notes? Yeah, I think some people just have always been in that habit because it's one of those things, and I think it's an age thing. I think as generations grow up, I think it's going to be less and less. I think you'll probably see a lot of people more actually using tablets more than laptops even to take notes. So it might still be with hands. I don't see that much. Because you still use your like a stylus or whatever with your hand. But I think the reason why is because whenever we were kids, you weren't allowed to have electronics in school. It was fucking banned. Like, you can't bring your phone to school.
True.
You
That's
can't
true.
bring this to school because you're Dicky Dur. So
Because of Dicky Nerd.
So I think it's just an age thing, generational thing that will probably change. I mean, because now every classroom has iPads and all these other type of devices, and it's used in education. So I think that's just something that will phase out over time, hopefully.
I just think it just baffles me because I can get so much, especially because people will be like, oh yeah, somebody emailed me about that, and then they'll pull out their phone and try to scroll through like the work email on their phone trying to get to the email, which is obviously much less intuitive to be able to find things on a phone interface than it is on Outlook.
That's one thing. So, I've been in court a lot over the last 2 years for divorce and custody and all those sorts of things. And so I've sat and listened to many custody hearings and watch people present evidence. And so at the courthouse, you're not allowed any electronic devices in the building. You must leave all cell phones and all of these things in your vehicle. You cannot bring them indoors. And I just think it's insane the number of...
What do you do?
You print out fucking texts and you bring them
what do you
in
do while you're waiting?
Oh,
don't you wait like 6 hours before you get seen half the time?
Right, you bring a book. I've read a lot of books. I read a book a day. One time, I just said, "Fuck it." I brought my.
Has it been a million days yet, dude? 1 million days.
I brought my my cell phone in, and the person my ex-wife was dating tattled on me to the bouncer, and he came up and he was like, or bouncer, I guess. What the fuck are they called?
They should just call it bouncer.
Yeah. Whatever. You know what I'm talking about. The officer. They're not. Are they real cops though, or what are they?
Oh,
Bailiff.
I'm pretty confident that they are cops. Yes.
Okay, because I mean, I've always seen like the same ones there, so I just assume that that's like all. Like I don't think that they. I don't know. I feel like that's like the cushy job, like a desk job in some way, where you're not. But yeah, he just walked up. He's like, "You got a cell phone?" I'm like, "Yes, I have a cell phone." He's like, "All right, take it outside." I was like, "Okay."
That was the highlight of his day.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's silly to see these people walking in with printed out texts and stuff, because they're not allowed to bring their phone in. It's like, I've also listened to a lot of people that don't sound super intelligent testify, and I can understand that they may not, know how to silence their phone and not sit there and talk on their fucking phone or whatever. So I guess I can understand why this is a rule or whatever, but I don't know. It does seem it's just silly.
Yeah, no, I mean, we live in a technological age where we have access to information at our fingertips, and especially at something like a court case when you might need to fact check something on the spot that gets stated.
Right. Well, like there was a time when I was presenting evidence on, a certain thing, and I'd printed out this evidence, and the other attorney was like, "How do we know if this is true?" And I was sitting there thinking, well, you could fucking Google it just like I did, and pull it down from the state's website if you had a phone.
Walk out to your car, get on your phone.
The thing is, the lawyers are allowed to bring their phones, and like whenever I had to hire an attorney recently because the tenant that wasn't moved out, we were waiting for the people that were in front of us to hear their case, and the whole time we're sitting there waiting for them to hear, he was sitting there reading Facebook. So it's like the lawyers aren't. I mean, they're not just bringing their phone in for strictly business related purposes.
That'd be really funny if the lawyer's phone started going off in the middle of the trial.
It did actually. He got a phone call and he had to get up and go out. He even answered it in the courtroom. Yeah,
that's insane. I mean, but I do agree with you. It baffles me on how many people don't silence their phones, and I understand if you forgot to silence your phone and it starts ringing and you scramble to try to find it and get it turned off. Like, yeah, it might piss some people off, but I get it. Shit happen.
Right.
The people who I used to, and this wasn't even the silent thing. One of the fire class I took a couple of years ago, and a buddy who was from my station too, and I used to give him a hard time about it all the time, and I don't think he understood he would set his phone on the desk in the middle of class, and I think we both did, but I had mine like completely silenced, and so I could like still text message people like when nobody was paying attention, or read messages as they came in. So you can still look at some things on your phone without really being disruptive. And he left his on vibrate.
So it's just as bad. Like, brrr.
Well, and so you'd set it on the desk and it'd vibrate. And I kind of get that too. It vibrates for a minute. You hit the button on the side of it, it stops. He would literally look at his phone, tip it up, like read who it was that was calling, like shake his head and just put his phone back down on the table and let it keep vibrating.
Oh my God.
And I am baffled. The instructor never said a word to him, which I was so shocked about. But it drove me insane because it would just be like, brr, 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 like for solid 2 minutes or whatever it was that it was going off for. And it happened at least once a class, if not like multiple times during a class.
Wow.
But yeah, so people definitely have a non-understanding of outside of their own bubble. Like,
it's just weird how, I don't know, how people can get like that. How does that happen? How do you not realize?
Yeah, you know what? That is an interesting question. Like, how do they not realize that is wrong? Is it that they, like, quote unquote, not raised right, or are they just having like a brain malfunction on one specific type of thing? Like, I don't. Yeah, I guess I don't get it at all.
It's got to be not raised right. I feel like. I feel like the problem started before they even were aware.
Sure, but I guess you can be raised right and still have one or two things that you were raised with an incorrect assumption of or understanding of. It could theoretically be like courteousness with a phone. Maybe they were raised in a way that every phone call is important and everybody gets important phone calls. So phone calls are completely acceptable for everybody to receive whenever they need to, type of deal. I don't know,
It just feels like, I don't know.
I'm trying to make something up. Like, it's because you could have so many arguments of that. I'm sure phone calls are acceptable as long as they didn't make you throw your phone in the car like they do at the courthouse or whatever. You're still giving you the right to get those phone calls if an important phone call comes through. Sure, like.
And I mean, but just common courtesy would still, to me, suggest that you get up and take your business in a place that's appropriate.
Yeah, I would agree, or at least silence it.
Yeah,
at least turn it the hell off.
I mean, it's silly that we still have to tell people at the movie theater before every fucking movie, turn off your phones.
So I haven't been to the movie in so long, and it's kind of funny because I actually am a MoviePass holder. From like when it like the one that's still good, like I can see the unlimited movies for the duration of my contract. I don't know if you've heard all the stuff going on with MoviePass. They're basically going to go out of business, but
oh really?
Yeah, they've changed it now to where except they have to like keep going with the current agreements. If you have like a year subscription, like I have, they have to like honor it for the rest of the year. But you can only see 3 movies a month. And you can only see certain show times, and you can't even see all movies. It's only certain movies that they select that are eligible for being able to be seen anymore. Whereas it was originally, advertised as see unlimited movies every month, like any showing, any movie, etc. I purchased it like 3 months ago before they went through this all this trauma. I haven't gone to the movies yet.
I don't think I would use it enough, honestly.
If you use it like
how much
twice
was
a
it?
month, it pays for itself. It's like $8.99 a month. Is
oh
the
shit!
plan
No,
that I got
that's
on.
really worth it then.
So it was $89 for a year. Was a special that I got it on.
Okay, that's definitely worth it.
Pay it monthly. So yeah, hell, if I see one movie a month, that makes it.
Yeah,
worth it.
yeah. I was about to say because like the tickets to the movie that we normally go to, it's like $6.95 for a kid and $11 for me.
Yeah, it would have been worth it. One movie that you see.
Yeah.
I could really make it worth it before my contract ends. that my last month, since I'll still be grandfathered in, go watch every single possible movie I can watch that month, and it's paid for itself.
I go see a lot of movies too, so something like that would. I mean, only kids movies though. To be fair, I go see a lot of kids movies.
Maybe I'm sure this is against the terms of service, so I would never do it. But maybe I will just mail you my card.
I wonder if it works at all theaters or how it works.
It's supposed to work at pretty much all theaters. Really? And I'll say, when I originally heard pretty much all theaters, I was like, sure, that's what they say now. I looked it up in DC, and I don't know if people have stopped participating or anything like that. So when I looked it up, every theater in DC, including like this little teeny independent run movie theater, were participating locations.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds really cool. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, now they've done fucked it up though, and it's about to go out of business, and they're.
I wonder what happened. I guess it didn't work too well for the movie theaters themselves.
Well, I think they originally got the plan expecting it to be, like $50 a month or something like that, and they were expecting people to want to pay for it because it would be worth it if you're a prime moviegoer.
Yeah.
And then they dropped the price for all these promotional prices. I think they started at $30 a month, and they dropped it to $15, then they dropped it to $10 because they were trying to get a base of subscribers in there. And I think they were expecting to show how well it would work and help the movie theater, concession stands, or what, really are driving to movie theaters, right. Payments and all this stuff. And, but none of the movie theaters would come in. They were expecting to get like discounts from movie theaters from MoviePass people. They didn't want to partner with them. So the company's still paying full price for every movie that a person goes and sees using MoviePass.
So they're just losing money.
They're losing money. Like, they're
just going to sell it for millions like Dollar Shave Club now.
Yeah, you know what? They probably will sell it for millions like Dollar Shave Club. Biggest loss endeavor ever, and they're just going to be like, we're rich.
That's funny. Well, all right. I know we normally go a little bit past 20 minutes, but I got to go because Beef's waiting on me, so we're going to have to end this here.
All right, go enjoy your vegan podcast.
Why do you think it's a vegan podcast, by the way? Just because his name's Beef? Is that?
Yeah, you said you were doing a podcast with Beef, and I think it'd be awesome if Beef did a vegan podcast.
He started a podcast called My First Car, and it's kind of weird that he's asked me to be on because he's had all these like big name car people.
Because you still drive your first car?
No, but he's had like all these big name like, I run a fucking car show and all this shit, name people on. I don't know how I got selected as a guest because I'm like, I've had some cars. I drove them.
Maybe you really want to talk about VWs today or something.
I guess so. My first car actually wasn't a VW, but you have to watch my first podcast on wherever Beef puts it to find out
what it is.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, thanks for watching, y'all.
All right. See you.